For you who are into creationism like me, you're going to love this. And if you're an atheist, you are going to hate this. This is by Thomas F. Hines, called Did God Create Life? Ask a Protein. In school, most of us were taught that the first simple cell started when lightning passed through a particular atmosphere and produced amino acids, the building blocks of the main ingredients of cells, which are called proteins. These amino acids, according to the school books, went on to concentrate in the ocean in an organic broth where they linked together to form proteins. These proteins then got together with DNA to form the first simple cell. The idea has not only been popular among atheists, many people who believe in God have been convinced that this must have been the way He created life. Not even informed atheists believe this anymore, though. The amino acids produced in experiments like Miller's are always half left and half right-handed. The proteins themselves, however, require all left-handed amino acids, otherwise their shape will be wrong and they won't connect properly. It is a bit like when you take a piece of a puzzle, turn it upside down, and try to put it back together where you took it out. It is the same size, but it won't fit. If a protein contains even one right-handed amino acid, it usually will not work in living things. Neither will amino acids concentrate in the ocean. They spread out. Even pure left-handed amino acids, bought on purpose in a chemical supply house and placed in the perfect organic broth, will not link together to form proteins. What we were taught was unscientific in every step. A quiet revolution has taken place in the last few years. Another chemical has elbowed out proteins and taken over the popular fancy. Even school books are admitting that proteins could not have formed in organic broth. Quote, scientists have not been able to cause amino acids dissolved in water to join together to form proteins. The energy requiring chemical reactions that join amino acids are reversible and do not occur spontaneously in water. However, most scientists no longer argue that the first proteins assembled spontaneously. Instead, they now propose that the initial macromolecules were composed of RNA, and that RNA later catalyzed the formation of proteins. The evidence against the old amino acid to protein to life theory has always been overwhelming, but until recently it was seldom mentioned except by creationists. Most people who are alive today and believe that life started without a creator do so because they believed the amino to protein life to protein to life theory. Even had proteins been able to form, they could not have gotten together with DNA to form a, quote, first cell, because neither DNA nor RNA will form outside of already living cells either. Let's take a more careful look at the proteins. You may not have realized the importance of these fascinating little molecules that do most of the work of cells. They offer powerful scientific evidence that living things were not made by chemicals coming together by themselves, but were created. Proteins are folded to fit. Once a cell, RNA, or whatever has made a protein, it must be folded correctly in its own complex three-dimensional shape in order to form its function in the cell. When a cell makes a new protein, while it is still moving towards its place in the cell, it folds into the exact shape which will allow it to connect with the proteins that will be next to it. Some use the illustration of a hand in a glove to describe how a protein must fit. Others liken it to the way a key fits in a lock. Here's how it works according to the IBM website. Quote, comprising strings of amino acids that are joined like links of a chain, proteins fold into a highly complex three-dimensional shape that determines their function. Any change in shape dramatically alters the function of a protein, and even the slightest change in the folding process can turn a desirable protein into a disease. On December 6, 1999, IBM announced that it was building the world's most powerful supercomputer to tackle the protein folding problem. Quote, the machine, dubbed the Blue Gene, will be turned loose on a single protein. The computer will try to model the way a human protein folds into a particular shape that gives it unique biological properties. Unquote. Because of the tremendous amount of computing power being unleashed, it has been estimated that running day and night, it may only take a year for Blue Gene to finish its calculations and model the folding of the first small protein. Cells, however, fold small proteins in seconds. Specialized proteins called chaperones or chaperonins have recently been discovered, which move newly made proteins along to the places in the cell where they must fit perfectly if they are to function with the other proteins around them. On the way, the chaperones help them fold correctly and then help it fit into their place. How do the chaperones themselves fold correctly? They too have chaperones. Scientists working in the best laboratories can assemble some of the more simple proteins, but unless they fold properly, they will not work in living things. Unfolded proteins may be the same chemically, but they are no better than miniature spaghetti as far as biological activity is concerned, and a wrong fold may cause a serious disease. Addressing proteins. Even though there may be billions of possible wrong places for protein in some cells to go, there is only one place in which any newly made protein will fit and function. The problem is that proteins are not made where they will be used and are worthless until each one has found its way to the one spot where it fits. How do we find it? Quote, newly minted proteins contain an amino acid string that determines their eventual home. Unquote. This string of amino acids is usually added as a tail on the end of the longer string of amino acids which make up the protein. It has been compared to the address on an envelope. When you put a letter in the mailbox without the address, what chance does it have of getting to the person to whom you're mailing it? Each properly folded protein will fit and connect correctly in only one spot, so it must be addressed correctly. Misplacing a protein is more serious than losing a letter, however. There are diseases where proteins are mistargeted in cells. Unquote. In 1999, the Nobel Prize for Medicine went to Dr. Günter Blobel of the Rockefeller University in New York, quote, unquote, quote, for discovering the amino acid address tags that direct each protein to its proper place in the cell. For the first cell to function, it not only had to have a way to make proteins, it also had to have solved the complex problems of folding proteins correctly and addressing them to the exact spots where they would fit and function. Near misses in any step can cause a disease, but the diseases are relatively rare because folding and addressing are done correctly under the direction of the cell's information. And you know something? I'm going to continue this on another video here because I think I'm running out of time here. Bye.